Hi Shed fans, welcome back. Thanks for watching. This video is about my 8x4 chassis that I got from AM Hobbies that I collected at National Gathering. It's I've had a bit on in my personal life this last few weeks, so things are changing around here, but I've managed to do a bit on my 8x4. So I've got my wheels and tyres on, got my knobblies on back, but they're too big. The rolling radius is too big over at Tamiya ones. That's the axle down. That's that with his tag axle all the way down, and the wheels are not touching the floor. That's because these tyres are the rolling radius is too great, so they're going to have to come off. The other major differences from my last video that you saw, I've put a motor and gearbox, the electronics in here, so that lifts that axle up and down off a controller. I've got a 25-gram servo, on-foot steering. I've got my equipment rack in, and I've got my cab base. I've got my cab base on for a Volvo FH16 shell. I've got a fifth wheel made up for the motorised legs on trailers, and I've got a bracket. I've got a bracket in for the for that servo for the fifth wheel. Didn't realise, but you can't. There's no standard place to put this in. So they're your standard holes. These are your standard 4 holes for your fifth wheel plate. So because on your normal Tamiya trucks it's further up, this servo's like up here. But because this framework, this motorised gearbox thing's in the way, we can't have it in that place. So what I've done is I've took a cross member out. I took a cross member out at chassis, which is this one with air tank on. That's come out. That's sat there. So that's no longer needed because it can't go in that place. So I've got my servo, and I've got a tiny little servo. Let's get that back on there. That's not a standard size servo, it's a smaller servo. I don't know if you can see it on that. I don't know if you can see it on this video. But this servo is a lot smaller than a standard one. Let me just have a look, see if I've got another one. So these servos have come from Component Shop. As you can see, it's that size compared to that size. That's a standard servo size. That's a lot smaller. So it don't need to be mega powerful. All it's doing is just pulling that fifth wheel plate across backwards and forwards. So it don't really need to be that big. I've just seen the suspension travel. That hits the chassis before it hits the servo, the axle. So that servo, I've had to drill some extra holes in this plate to get it on in the right place, and I've had to drill an extra hole in the plate to mount it to an existing hole that's already there. So I've got to cut this away in the morning, I'll cut it down that line, then up that chassis rail there, cut a bit of this off, so that'll fit over top. That'll fit over top of that. And then the other thing I've done is I'm not going to bother with Tamiya gearbox. The other thing I found at National Gathering was I never come out of first gear all the time I was there. It was in first gear all the time, and it were a little bit high geared for coming down some hills with trail on back with weight in it. So what I decided to do was get an MFA 1:6 ratio, gear ratio 540 on the this 540 motor here with gearbox built onto it, and then I've got a 4-wheel a rock crawler gearbox, chop the motor mount off the gearbox, so I've got that now becomes a straight drive. That's just a straight drive centre bearing, if you like, because you can't buy them. So I've put this prop shaft, a King Hauler prop shaft, I think. So that's got enough room to slide backwards and forwards with suspension travel. So when that closes up, it squashes up to the prop shaft. And when that all the way down, it's still got enough drive. And this red coupling here is off a boat. There's a boat coupling, model boat coupling. So this bronze end here is the same size as this drive end, but that bronze end fits that motor gearbox. That gearbox is a lot greater. It's a lot greater hole. Yeah, so that's now drives. That drives that now constantly. So to mount that in position there, I've cut some brass plate here, and I've used existing holes again in chassis rails and just drilled through the brass plate and drilled and tapped it with some 2.5mm drill bit, I think, or 2.2mm drill bit, and then a set of taps. These come off eBay. So it's a starting tap, a middle tap, and then a bottom tap, what they call a bottom tap. So the bottom tap's got thread all the way to the very end. So you can tap an hole, but it's not all the way through, it stops halfway down your parent metal. So that's where we're up to now with this. So this is a cab plate for Volvo FH16. I just put my equipment rack brackets in here. My next plans for this is to I've got all these rose joints, which are these, and so I've got 2 tie rods to do, 2 trap rods to do, a link bar, two link bars, and then all my servo link bars on top and on servo. So there's quite a few. There is quite a few rods, and if you look, the problem with these Tamiya connectors is there's too much play. You see all that movement in that wheel. Look at it moving down that ball connector, and then on front same. There's too much play in all the joints. So if you get rid of the Tamiya joints and put these, they're called rose joints, these are rock crawlers, you put these on, and there's a lot less play in these and the metal, so they move together. It's not it's a lot stronger joint, so it enables you to, when your servo's working, it works better, your steering works better. So I can show you this. So that's all the way down. That's all the way down now, but it's not because them tyres are too high. These tyres are too big. But if I plug my battery in, so I've got the, on this radio link, 11 channel radio. Flip that switch up, you can hear the motor going. That's drawing that bar up, which is lifting axle. And then you can see that lifting up, you can see that axle coming out. You can see this mechanism working here, and that's it stopped. So that's it fully off at floor. So when you haven't got an heavy load on your unit, on your fifth wheel, that'll make that so you can. When you haven't got an heavy load on your fifth wheel, you don't need your tag axle down. You can lift that up. This servo is also a 25 kilogram servo, so that works quite well. But you're going to be able to get a lot more throw on steering when them joints have all been changed. So that works alright. But when you've got your way to your battery on your equipment rack here, then you've got your cab with speed controller and battery and everything in there. It's all going to put a lot of pressure on this servo. That's a Tamiya servo saver as well, iTorque servo saver. So without the gearbox, without the Tamiya gearbox in here, you've got a lot more room for stuff. So I just need to get cracked on with build and see what happens, see how it goes. Hopefully, it's going to look alright. So a lot of travel on that. So if I put that down now, that axle, that's pushing that bar, moving this bar out now to lower this tag axle down. So you can hear the motor working, you can hear it changing. So when it gets to end up travel, which is there, you can just flip that switch to centre off position, and that's it all the way down. So that, yeah, they're on ground now. But yeah, I need to change these tyres. That fifth wheel's sorted, that steering's done. I've just got to sort out these joints. So now the next job is to solder some wires onto the motor, and then I can drive it round and see what it's like for steering. And then I've got my equipment rack to build. I've got all them plastics to paint, all them bottles and stuff, all them cans on top. I'm going to paint all them before I put it all together. The equipment rack come from AM Hobbies as well. So you get like a massive box, wherever it's gone to. So you get everything. You get everything in the kit for the equipment rack. It sells them on eBay. If you go onto eBay, you can get your stuff for eBay. But you've got everything in there. So you've got the foils for back at cab, which I don't know what to do with them yet because I'm not using Scania cab. You got all your metal plates, all your screws, and then you've just got boxes and boxes of parts. loads of all parts to, like I say, all parts to equipment rack, batch tray, everything. So all them, they're all going to get painted tomorrow morning. Yeah, so everything's all going to get painted and then I can put it together. Yeah, so build's coming on for this truck at the minute. I think I'm going to change this rear suspension as well. I don't like that rear suspension. It's a bit pants. I want something to work, so you got some proper suspension on it. So that's that really. I have got yes, that's for this build. So these rose joints are 3mm shaft and then 3mm centre for brass fitting. So you want 3 and 3s. I got them off eBay as well from China. Got a big pack full of them for all my other projects I need to do. Yes, that's me 8x4. Oops, best turn that off. Yeah, I'm not going to use the radio for this truck. I'm going to use different radio gear in this truck, so it's going to be a standalone truck. So all my other trucks, this Radio Link's 15 model memory. That beast, it's 15 model memory, so there's no point in buying, so you don't have loads of controllers, you can just have 15 receivers all linked to this one unit. So I've got two trailers linked to this controller. I've got another couple of trucks, I've got a belt and other stuff on there. So if this is going to be my big towing truck, I want this on a separate unit. So this receiver and speed controllers for this Mercedes truck here. So I've got my cables for my rear lights, that burglar alarm cable. I've got my fifth wheel release already on there. I've got a 20 kilogram servo for this steering. That 8x4's got 25 in it. So this, the reason why I've got this 20 on this one is it's got super singles on front. So super singles are a lot wider tyre. This is the chassis, the Volvo FH16 chassis that I've robbed. I've robbed this. This is the kit I've got for the body for me 8x4. So I can use the side skirts for the Volvo on this, and then I can use the back arches and the rear lights and stuff. Oh no, not going to use the rear lights. I'm going to use it. I've got some European Lasue rear lights that I'm going to put on this, and I've used that. This burglar alarm cable's been a really good idea because you can't see that in between these chassis rails. So because you can't, it just looks a lot better because you can't see it. In fact, I need to put that wiring actually in there. I'll have to put some wiring in. When I sort that back suspension out, I have to put some cables through for that. So that fits on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this. Rub this rose joint off of that spare one. So you screw your nut, your 3mm nut onto your shaft, onto the link shaft for this. I think some of you eagle-eyed viewers that watch my channels regular, I've shaved my beard off. I've got rid of the length off out my beard. I had my beard a few years, but it started really winding me up. I ended up, it's not very good for being a mechanic, bit health and safety wise. So with that straight on there, can I'll put that extra nut on there to lock that to the shaft, so you can get away with that. So it locks it so it don't come loose, should I say. And then that you can just screw into there. So I want to. So that time your servo save that hole's too small. I'll just pop a 3mm hole into that. So I want a decent length screw. I'm going to use this button head cap screw, which is going to need clipping and down because it's way too long. So that's basically going to be that. So from top, that's what that's going to look like. I've done them red, so it like kind of like goes with body. I just want to. Oh, in fact. Right, I'm going to call that a day, people, for this video, because I need to find that disc just there. Yeah, I'm going to call that a day, get all this built up, get that screw chopped tomorrow. I'm not doing it now because it's late, it's 11:10, so it's a bit late to be sawing or grinding or whatever. So I'll just do that for my last thing. The other good thing about buying off AM Hobbies is it gives you extra screws and stuff, little bits and bobs. You don't have to, but it gives you extra screws and that, and it always come in handy with projects, especially if you're scratch building. If you're scratch building like I am, and I'm building that truck up, I like getting extra bits of screws and stuff. Makes you feel a bit special, doesn't it? Getting extra bits and bobs for free. Everybody loves a free bit. So that's it for this video. This is coming on nicely. That's coming on nicely. I need a right hand side. If anybody does one, the right hand drive dashboard for me for this Mercedes. I've got this body ain't finished yet. This body's from AM Hobbies as well. I've got a body kit from them guys for this. So this is a pre-painted Tamiya body off the off the tipper trailer truck. So I've got this to I bought it for I was going to make it into a 6x4, but I fancy making it to a 4x2 now. So that's it, people. I think. Thanks for watching. And I don't know when I'm going to do another video. Could be I'm moving house, so this is going to be like the last one from here, from this shed. But I'll get one on. I'll get another one on as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.